Do drag kings do poppers?
I do. I love poppers.
You do? You're sapphic.
Yeah, I hate that word, but yeah.
You hate it? You're not a sister of Sappho? Hearts gather round. It's Delta Work, and I want you all to check out Courtney Ack's new show, R&R, where she tackles the world's biggest issues with some amazing guests. It's a new mom show, and it's all sponsored by Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/verydelta50off and use code verydelta50off to get 50% off, plus free shipping on your first box.
Oh.
Mom!
Are you a lady like me? Introspective, beautiful. Oh, are you intellectual like me? Beguiled by a bargain? You like wild times? Oh, like me? Are you serving the community like me? Well, if you are, then you must be very Delta. Today's guest comes to us direct from the King's Court on the hit show The King of Drag. God damn it. Today's guest is wearing a faja. And I'm not. But why would I? I'm not going to get through this. I can already tell that this is going to be a mess, and I love it. Okay. You're going to make me laugh. That's the problem.
I'm serious.
Oh, but it's not a problem, though. That's the whole point. Today's guest comes in us.
For a price.
For a price. Today's guest comes to us direct from the King's Court on the hit show King of Drag. It's the one and only Tenderoni.
Hi, Delta.
Hi, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be on this couch.
Well, I'm honored that you're here. The first time we really worked together wasn't long ago in Chicago.
Yeah, it was for your podcast tour. And I was the performer. I was at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
If you want me to be honest about you, that gig was so traumatizing for me because they didn't let me do a tech rehearsal before and the volume was negative.
I know that feeling.
So when I was performing, I was like, oh my God, I hate when I can feel like my jewelry moving. I can feel my breath not being catched.
Okay.
I was like, oh my God, the music is silent. And then I'm also like, I'm honored to be performing in front of you. I think Dita was there too, Dita Ritz.
Dita was there.
I was just like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. Like, I can't even hear my music.
Well, what's interesting is that they, first of all, I mean, you're such a pro. They would never know. And we would never know because we're up there, obviously, while you're performing. So we're only seeing their reaction and they're going nuts. Obviously, a hometown hero is performing. They love you, but it's such I know that ugly feeling. Like, it just feels like, there's just certain trappings you have to have.
Yes.
Right? I recently did a theater show and we do it every year. And I was doing this Into the Woods number. And I've been doing this show for 20 years, once a year. I walked out to the stage. There was no like monitor anywhere. I could not hear the music. I could only hear the echo from out there up. I had no idea where I was.
That's the worst.
And let me tell you, I literally was like,
that's when you go to the table and you're like, thank you for coming.
Exactly. The f***ed up part for me is I was stuck on the stage with a spotlight right here.
Oh my God.
And I was like, and then there were friends that like also do drag that were not in the show but came to watch. And like your peers are like, this bitch doesn't know a single word. How are you not going to know a word to a song you've been doing for 500 years? I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, this show too. Like Detox was there, Miss Toto. There was like a whole bunch of people who I know in the front.
But they
know
you better than that.
But they like made it better because they're like, cheering. They're like, I was like, oh my God, my security blanket's here. My friends are here. So
see, I'm that way too. Like if I have like sort of an anchor in the audience, I feel like I'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, all those people already know you better than that. Mm-hmm. So they know like, I think people can spot when there's something technical going on. I feel like back in the day, whenever something would go wrong, people would be like, it's the DJ's fault. And you're like, well, it might be the light guy's fault. It also might be your fault.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay. And it's, it's just like you have to get through it. And then when you're done, you're like, it's over.
Yeah. Have you ever had like a weird, like something fall off or an accessory get lost or something and it really throws you?
Oh my God, yes. I was doing an Usher themed brunch and I was like, let me be extra. I made a medallion because he has like a logo medallion. I made out of air dried clay, which I was getting real extra, which is kind of heavy.
Yeah.
So I stoned it. I put it on a chain and I was performing and I was like dancing so hard that day. The medallion fell off and hit a lady in the face
No.
while I was performing.
No.
I was like, whoosh, and it was like right in her face. And I was like, I literally stopped and I was like, I am so sorry.
What did she say?
She was fine. Luckily, she was a cute auntie.
Okay.
She was happy. She was living her best life. I circled back, make sure she was okay again, got her a drink. I was like, please, I'm so sorry. Never wear the necklace again.
But did you get that back?
Yeah, I still have it.
Okay, good. It goes on a shelf.
It weighs like 25 pounds.
Yeah. I wonder what you could do next time. Can you 3D print something like that maybe?
Probably. There's like so many things. I was trying to be all extra like, I can make this myself.
Right.
I mean, you can get it on Amazon too, like the actual one. But I was just like, I'm a maker. I'm going to do this. And I was like, I should have just ordered it on Amazon.
Well, you know what's so funny you say that? Like saying I could make that. I feel like I've noticed that drag kings always go above and beyond when it comes to the creation of something and usually customize things so specifically for a character.
It's like so interesting because it is true. Like as a drag king, I'm like, oh, I can do that myself. I'm going to do that. I always like when I'm doing a song that's a specific look, I'm always in my head like, I want it to look exactly like the music video. And then in my head, I'm like, I don't really have to do that. But it is fun to like, there's something satisfying about getting something to look how you want it to. And it's also a little bit of like a control issue. I'm such a control freak when it comes to certain things. So like if I can just do it myself, then I'll just do it myself.
But it becomes so specific. I feel like, preaching to the choir here, but I just feel like as a drag queen, obviously all the opportunities when it comes to entertainment are afforded to drag queens. And then people will say, oh, well, I saw a drag king in a show one time and then that was enough of a contribution. And that's not fair because it really does speak to the misogyny within the community. And I don't mean to bring it down, but it's something that has to be addressed.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like when you think of like drag, people automatically think drag queens.
Mm-hmm.
And I like had this conversation before and it's like funny because like all the girls are there, but at the end of the day, it's essentially like a boys club. Yeah. And it's like, I identify as a woman outside of drag. And I'm just like, damn, I'm still trying to find my way into the boys club, even like as a drag artist. But you know what? Times are changing. It isn't like, I feel like it used to be like that a lot more. But I try to look on the positive side of things now.
Right.
And I think there's like a renaissance happening and people are being more open to different identities, different types of drag. As a drag king, I'm like super privileged and lucky that I have the opportunity to travel a lot and to, introduce drag kings to different audiences. And I always treat it as almost like a job interview because a lot of people have never seen a drag king before. Right. So I'm always like, this is my introduction to you as a drag king. Like, this is what I'm going to show you who I am. So I always try to put like my best foot forward.
Yeah.
In any new interactions with people who don't understand what a drag king is. Because I'm just like, girl, it's just the opposite of a drag queen.
Right. It's entertainment.
Yeah.
It's a piece of entertainment. It can be a statement. It could be that whole existence in itself is a resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we just don't need to be eating from plates with crumbs anymore. Like it's just crumbs are not enough.
Exactly.
And King of Drag is not crumbs. It's the whole meal. Talk about King of Drag.
Yeah, King of Drag is a project that I am a part of that is like the new groundbreaking all drag king competition series. It's essentially Drag Race with drag kings. There's trans men, there are women, there are non-binary people. And I feel like you just don't see those type of identities on TV these days. There's also like a stud, which is like a Black lesbian specifically. And it's like this subcultures within the subculture, which I'm so excited for their identity to be showcased. And I want the show to kind of uplift drag kings so there can be a lot of household names for drag kings.
Right.
And the cast is so diverse. The cast is so fun. There's funny drag kings. There's sexy drag kings. there's annoying drag kings.
Mhm.
It's like everything that you see in
Good
regular.
TV. It's good TV.
It's good TV.
What are you looking for in a contestant?
I'm looking for like a fully realized character. I'm looking for like attention to detail, confidence. I really like costuming too. I mean, I people are always like, you need everything rhinestoned. I love rhinestones,
Yeah.
but I don't think that they're essential for every look.
Do you have an outfit that you perform in that has no rhinestones on it?
Actually, one of the outfits I wear on King of Drag is an homage to RuPaul. So I'm wearing
Oh,
like
what is it?
it's like a neon green like Klein Epstein Parker suit.
Okay.
So it's like the same suit and shirt combination that he wears on Snatch Game season 7.
Uh-huh.
So when I did the show, I was like, I'm gonna have my hello, hello, hello moment. So when I go into the workroom, I say it twice because I'm
Oh,
like,
you
I'm not
do?
getting sued. I was like, take the third one out.
Oh, how funny. To calculate that. That's funny.
So yeah, it's kind of a silent homage to RuPaul.
I love that. Would you be a judge on Drag Race at some point if you were asked?
Oh, I would love to. I have the biggest crush on Michelle Visage.
Who doesn't?
Exactly.
And for us being lovers of 80s, 90s music, it's like there's a specific thing. My friend sent me a message and I don't remember how it came up, but the conversation was they were like looping together girl groups
Mhm.
and they said something like, Seduction, Expose, and Cheetah Girls. Which one's your favorite? And I was like, baby, Cheetah Girls is not involved in that. I don't know how you're.
That's like 3 generations after.
How is that? They could never be Seduction. They could never be Expose.
Like, you mean cover girls? Maybe.
Right. Okay. But what are you talking? You can't compare to Seduction. It's not going to happen.
Exactly. Not even. And that's what I love too, because I grew up in the East Coast. I'm originally from Massachusetts. Not
Oh,
Boston.
okay.
So I'm also Puerto Rican. So I grew up with freestyle music and, seduction is part of that. And I am always yearning to find someone who knows the references
Right.
to that. Because I always want to perform freestyle, but I'll do it and the people don't get it. Like
Right.
young audiences is like, what is that song?
Who would you say are inspirations from television? Because obviously television raised you.
Yes.
Pop culture raised you. Or music that are inspirations to Tenderoni.
In music specifically, like my top, like my Mount Rushmore is like Michael Jackson, Madonna, Prince, MC Hammer. Just like I love 80s and 90s. And this is one that like not a lot of people think of, but Bobby Brown and his
Oh my
like
God.
heyday is like, this outfit actually is a Bobby Brown replica of
Love.
his 1990 AMA performance outfit.
Okay.
It is like my go-to look. And I feel like in the 80s and 90s, there's so much more like razzle dazzle and like powerhouse energy, which
Mhm.
I don't find in the new pop stars of today,
Right.
at least the male ones. Boy pop stars are so boring now.
Right.
So it's like, as a drag king, I find it hard to find like references or like music or performances that I want to do for like modern music artists, and I'm like, you're boring.
Yeah, linen pants and a tank top. Like,
Exactly.
give us more. We want to see where's the star.
Yeah, and like and for TV, like my number one was like Ricky Lake. Like Ricky Lake is my queen.
I love that. I love
Ricky
that.
Lake is my queen. I mean, I was a Sally Jesse girl. I also was watching like Jerry Springer, Maury.
Stop it. How old are you?
I'm 37. I just turned 37 last week.
You're just a baby, but you're in that right age range to know all of that.
I have so many more. Like
Well, I know you mentioned Michael Jackson. Like Michael Jackson is the standard
yeah.
in so many ways. Do you have a favorite Michael Jackson song?
My favorite Michael Jackson song is actually PYT. And that's where I got my drag name from. It's a mixture of PYT and Bobby Brown, Tenderoni, or it's just Roni, Bobby Brown song.
Right.
But PYT, there's a part where he's like, Tenderoni, you got to be.
Yes.
That's where I got the name. A lot of people think my name is food. Young people think my name is food related. I'm like, no, it's not.
Oh.
They're like, oh, like SpaghettiOs or something. And I'm like, no.
Oh, well, it could be like pepperoni,
Yeah.
pepperoni.
And like, there actually is a Tenderoni like pasta from like the 40s.
Listen, Bobby Brown told us Tenderoni stands out in a crowd. That's the lyric. That's
Exactly.
the lyric. I love Bobby Brown.
Me too.
Yeah, I do. I do love Bobby. I love that. I don't think there's a single other guest that's been on this show that could reference Bobby Brown as an inspiration. But I know plenty of them that are in the age range that would know every fucking word of Bobby Brown's
He
songs.
was untouchable in his day.
Yes.
The
Yes.
movement, the costumes, everything on point.
Let's take a break. We are back with Tenderoni. Obviously, this show, we realize that there's huge problems going on in the world, but we sit in this little studio and we fry the small fish. There's little things that we complain about that bug our ass. Do you have any small fish happening right now? It could be a behavior. It could be a missing menu item. It could be any small fish that really needs to be fried, needs to be thrown out there.
I hate when I'm in a group setting talking and someone is watching videos on like full volume. To me, that is
Don't people go
so...
like this to clap? I can't stand it.
I'm like, that is so rude. I'm like sitting here having a conversation. Someone's watching a TikTok behind me at full volume. With like, you're part of our group. Like, I get it. You're disassociating. Your social meter has run out. But be considerate of other people. Put an AirPod or something in.
Right. And I no, totally. I mean, I know that we support, everyone has just as you said, like dissociating or maybe it's a way of stimming or calming themselves. Like I don't want anybody to be uncomfortable. But you know, if you're in a group of people, you could just maybe go turn that on full blast in the bathroom or something. Give yourself a moment.
Your stimming is triggering
me. Right.
Listen, I consider myself to be a pretty laid back person. I am so giggly. I laugh at everything. I don't hold grudges. Very rare for a Latin woman. But stuff like that, it infuriates me so much. And it's like these little things that I'm just like, I can't, it doesn't allow me to continue a conversation because like in the back of my head here, I'm just like, turn that video off.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't even want to get into it with the, you know, the video games or what is it, like the iPads and restaurants and stuff and the kids are going off. Oh my God,
it's horrible.
Because I know that, you know, listen, we're all spectruming somehow. We're all somewhere.
No, you're raising a sociopath when you do that.
Maybe. What about at the restaurant when they have the thing where you can pay and play games? Do you play games on there?
Oh, yes. I love the trivia.
Are you like a board game person or you really?
I love board games.
Okay.
I love Parcheesi.
Oh, really?
Yes. So my girlfriend introduced me to it because she's Colombian. And I guess in Colombia, that's like a huge pastime that they have is Parcheesi. Mm-hmm. They call it parques. That's the Spanish.
Okay.
Parques. And her family kind of taught me how to play it. And they play it so competitively.
Really?
Where you're like, quick fire going around in a circle. Like and we play with money. So like you put $1 in. To start, and then anytime someone like kills you or gets your pawn out, you put a quarter in, and then whoever wins gets the pot.
I'm not mad. I like that.
I love that. I play that for hours.
Do you play Monopoly?
I do, but that's like a commitment.
Wait, are you the banker or are you the person that does, like, what do you do?
I cannot count, so I'm not the banker.
See, I'm never the banker. I'm never the banker.
In real life either, I'm not the banker.
Oh, you can't do that either?
I give all my money to my girlfriend.
That might be smart. That might be smart.
Pay the bills, please.
Yeah. Because your girlfriend also does rhinestoning.
Yes.
And makes you look amazing.
Shout out to Natasha. If you know, you know.
Natasha hooks it up. I'm sitting here and not just because I have a cataract in my right eye, but because the quality of the work on this is so premier. It literally looks like there are Christmas lights flashing off of that. And listen, I'm sure Natasha will attest to this, and I know you will. There's nothing more soul-crushing than rhinestoning something and the glue gets on top of the rhinestone.
Oh my God.
Or you drop a rhinestone because you're like, I want to find it. But then you're like, it is just one rhinestone, but still.
But you can hear it. And
you hear it. Yes. Yes, right?
And it's never one bounce. It's over the whole floor.
Natasha's off camera. Natasha, answer this off camera. Do you lose your mind when the rhinestone gets glue on the top of it?
Yes.
You want to die.
Yes.
I see. Yeah. I want to die. I really do.
You know?
You recently have done pride campaigns for Taco Bell, Skittles, Smirnoff in your drag career. What is that like? How does that happen? What do you do? What do you bring to something like that?
I mean, it's lots of contracts, lots of paperwork,
Sure.
but it's also very surreal because you're like, oh my God, I'm like part of this huge campaign for this company. And Skittles was really cool. Their campaign was like, we're getting rid of the rainbow and giving it to the gays. And so
I remember
the bags were gray
Yep.
and the Skittles were gray. I actually still have them because I'm a hoarder and I save everything for
I love
nostalgia. And we had to sit down and do a whole thing. The only thing I don't like about Pride campaigns is that the questions are horrible.
Okay, what would be a question?
What does pride mean to you?
Oh, for God's sake.
I'm just like, oh my God, I hate those. I really go home and I'll like Google it. Google something like a good way to respond to this.
Yes. Because I don't want to seem inauthentic, right? You don't want to say the same thing somebody else said better.
I feel like when you become a drag performer, you also inadvertently become a spokesperson for a lot of stuff. And I don't consider myself to be like the most well-spoken person. So I get so nervous when I have to speak about something like so serious or like, what is something that's so special and important to you? I like lock up because I'm like, oh my God, I have to say something that doesn't sound stupid. And I'm always like giggling or like.
Well, that's what makes you such a good spokesperson is the fact that I think people that follow you, that know this to be true. And I knew this based solely before I met you on your reputation from the friends I knew, like Layla, like Dita, like Detox, who all said and know you to be a person who takes what they do very seriously, but not themselves very seriously. And that resonates with people who want the realness. You want the realness, you're going to get the realness. And that's what you bring. So that's why you're an asset to these kinds of campaigns. I know recently working with Elf.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, Elf sponsored the King of Drag show. So it was so cool because when I got to set, they had a whole makeup wall.
Wow.
For the kings. And it's so cute. Like the way that the kings on the show, they all gave them their own makeup tables, but they're all like toolboxes. Like, you know,
Oh, I love that.
And like it was, every drawer was full with Elf cosmetics.
Wow.
So it was really, really cool. And it like, I mean, it almost like legitimizes it. Cause like, you know, every TV show that you see that's like a reality competition always has some kind of sponsor, like, oh, our accessory wall or this wall. And they really like, it looked really cool. And I was like, this is cool. I'm obsessed. Like now it's like, you know, when I first said yes to the show, I was like, please don't be cheesy. Please don't be corny, you know? And then when I got on set, I was like, wait a second, they got budget. Legit. And then when it's hosted by Murray Hill, who is hilarious. The best. Such a good mentor to the Kings. Such a good, like, as I say it's my grandfather, but he don't claim me on his taxes. But he's like so funny. I was really nervous. It's my first time ever doing anything on TV.
Wow.
And I'm very self-conscious about my smile. I don't like my teeth. So I was like, before we got on the show, I was like, I'm getting veneers. I'm getting a flipper. Like, I was like, I want to get something to cover it because that's like something that I've been self-conscious about in my whole life. And as soon as I got on set, they sit me next to Murray, like on the judges panel. And he's like, saying funny stuff in my ear. And I'm just cackling the whole time. And I was like, well, there goes that idea out the window. But I mean, he kind of just took my nervousness away from me.
Right.
So that helped out a lot.
And that's showbiz. One time we were at Dita Von Teese's show here in LA. We were at the House of Blues and Murray was hosting the show. And it was my partner's first time going to a Dita show. And he kept looking down and looking back at me and looking down, looking back at me. And I was like, I know, you look like Murray Hill. And Murray, like at some point looked up and was like, oh my God, they look like twins, except my partner's like super tall. But they look, and they took a picture together. I'll have to send it to you just so you can see
funny.
it.
I just saw him in Chicago and I have a drag son. His name is Mush. I have 2 drag sons, but the one I brought, his name is Musharoni.
Okay.
And he looks exactly like Murray too.
That's so
And when
funny.
I introduced him to Murray's like, this is your kid? It looks like my kid.
I love that.
Musharoni. You'll be so happy that you said his name.
Musharoni, we love you. I love drag king. I mean, I love drag names. Here's the thing about drag queen names. And I'm not knocking anybody out there who uses this name, but I do feel like for the most part, not everybody, so don't come for me, but for the most part, drag queens that use the name like Anita Pill, Anita Bank Account. Usually those are like gay guys who don't really do drag, but they're going to be in drag around all of their straight girlfriends. And they're like, honey, I need a divorce. Like,
exactly. Like, get out of here.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
there is that genre in drag kings too, though. My
like
pet
what?
peeve with drag king names is a very vulgar sexual name. I do not like that. And there's drag kings that's like, their name is like Buster Hyman or like, or like, you know, like something like Tara Hole or like, you know, something crazy like that. No shade to them because I've probably worked with them before, but for me, it just, when I hear something like that, I'm just like, I hear the Law and Order SVU ding ding.
Right.
I'm just like,
For sure.
it just makes me feel uneasy. And I guess I'm a prude, but as for our name, like, how are you going to market yourself?
Yeah. I feel like I know in my notes app in my phone, I will write in drag king names and I can't think of any now.
There's one I know his name is Lincoln Bio. Lincoln
Oh, I
Bio.
think I wrote one of those down, not knowing. I think so, yeah.
There's so many funny puns. Like there's one in Chicago, his name is Luke Ami. So it's Luke Ami.
Oh, I like that. That's cute.
I mean, like Landon's is a pun too, and it's like a sexual pun, but it's not vulgar. I don't. Well, like
it doesn't sound like somebody's being like savagely bleeding everywhere or something.
I was like, why would you choose that?
That's crazy.
When I chose my drag name, it was like one word, Tenderoni, like share.
Just like
just one word. But you know what? My drag name was almost Bob Tacky. I almost made it that.
Bob Tacky.
Bob Tacky.
I wonder what I want to be a drag king. What would my drag king name be?
Okay, wait. What's the boy's name on Designing Women?
Anthony.
Oh, that's not good enough for a drag
I
name.
know.
But that actor was named
Meshach Taylor.
That is him as Hollywood Montrose in Mannequin.
Ooh, is the best.
That's my aesthetic down.
Best.
I love it.
Well, let me ask you this. What does your ideal bath look like?
Ooh, I love taking baths.
I know.
Oh, it's got to be a deep tub. I hate when I'm sitting in the tub and the top of your bun starts hanging out the water. That's not cute. And it's got to have like, you know, the hole that drains. It's got to be big too, because I hate when I hear that water draining down that hole in the front. So it's got to be a deep tub. Like, you know, the ones that are like, people are like,
that's nice. What about candles? Do you do candles in the bathtub?
I always want to be into candles, and then I'm like, it's too much work.
It does seem like a lot of setting the moment, and then you're like in there, and you're like, okay, now what?
But then I'm like, am I like in a Fabio, in a Fabio photo shoot or like a Meatloaf music video?
There's my
Flavio.
Flavio is my drag king name. Can you see it happening?
Flavio.
Only shirtless.
Only
shirtless.
Period.
That is it. And then like a mane of blonde hair.
Oh, I could see that.
And like on a horse. But it'll be like, but it won't even be a horse. It'll be like a horse on a stick.
A donkey.
A donkey. When was the first time you got into drag as we know Tenderoni in a look? Like, what was the beginning stages?
So I started as a front row diva. So I consider myself a front row diva, aka I was like at every show in the front, you know, gagging over everything. And then when I saw my first ever drag king, I was like, I can do that. His name is Dusty Balls. Check him out. Chicago, Illinois.
Dusty Balls?
Yeah. I saw him and it really inspired me. I was like, I want to try doing drag. So there's a local competition. It was called Crash Landing. And I took part in it. And I was like, I'm just going to do this. And the first thing I ever did, it was a mix of Thriller and Salt and Pepper shit.
Okay.
I started doing drag as like, honestly, in high school because I used to go to school dressed like Michael Jackson.
You did?
Yes, I was considered a Michael Jackson girl. I would like perform in the cafeteria. My high school counselor like would bring the boombox and put the CD in, and I would like perform Billie Jean.
It's in your blood.
And I was just like,
yeah.
And I wasn't in school in like 1985. This is like 2005.
You're an old soul.
Michael Jackson was not that popular. Everyone was like, okay, she's weird, but we like her.
Well, but you're an old soul. I mean, you know what makes you feel good, as an entertainer. And, I feel like those beginning stages, like when we first try out stuff, we don't know. Like we know we want to have a good time. And then we realize that, this passion could be a profession if you love it enough and if you work and you're diligent. And I feel like you probably, like you mentioned, the competition, I came up in competitions. Like that was a thing for me. I mean, I was trying to be in a competition every week, even if I won, because they were usually just like one-offs. Like you would win, then they'd have people the next time. I always wanted to do it because I always wanted a piece of the stage. I didn't have anything else to do. So I was like, I just want to keep having chances. And I feel like competitions are still popular.
It's kind of annoying because I like competitions because that's how people start out. But the clubs are getting so cheap that they're like, we're doing competition now because they only have to pay the host and they don't have to pay any of the people who are competing. Yeah. So it's hard. Like if you're like a slightly established performer and you don't want to compete, where are you supposed to go do a show now?
Right.
Especially as a drag king, because it's also like, it's like another level of like unbookability in certain places. They're like, we only want queens. We only want queens. And Chicago right now, it's kind of annoying. There's like no regular drag shows happening that are just like,
really?
Let's go to a drag show.
Really? Because of the competitions. Mm-hmm. You know, I judge a competition and nobody gets sent home. Everybody gathers the points. And I do see everyone's drag and their art as their thing. And it's valid how you want to do it. However, what makes it hard in that judging is trying to tell somebody, I don't personally like that. And that's fine to personally not like something, but I don't want to tell somebody, well, because I don't like your dress, that means you lose points because I don't like the way that dress looks. Well, maybe they don't like what I'm wearing and I'm the one judging, you know? So it's hard to find that sweet spot where you're judging as objectively as possible, but you're looking with a subjective eye.
And it's like so hard too, because I'm like, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
No.
And I feel like all drag performers are so young now too, where I'm just like, I don't want someone to have a meltdown because I said I don't like their shoes.
Oh, that's how I feel. Exactly. And also, you know, I don't know about you, but I'm sure, I'm not going to say I don't know about you because I do know about you. I put myself in their position and I think, man, what if they don't have the money? You know, but they have the desire. Mm-hmm. You know, what if they're using the same shoes and they're trying to repurpose or trying to go? Maybe I have the privilege of going, oh, I need orange shoes for this, and I'm going to wear them and then I'm going to throw them in a closet. Mm. And yes, it's a privilege. Yes, I've been doing it for 3 decades. So yes, there's going to be an accumulation. But if somebody's only been doing it for a couple of times, I don't want to shoot them down. When I first started doing drag, I didn't really see drag kings. I saw every once in a while there would be like, you know, a butch lesbian and people were like, oh, that's a drag king. And they're like, no, that's just somebody comfortable in what they're wearing. Like, it's not really a butch, it's not really a drag king entertainer.
Yeah.
And then when we started to see more drag kings, people started to get real critical about what drag kings were contributing when they weren't being as critical about drag queens that were contributing on the same level. And the difference was pants or a dress, but both of them were off of the rack. But suddenly it's a problem that these new drag kings are trying to learn about themselves and build a wardrobe. But it's not a problem when these young drag queens are building the same wardrobe. And it's, you know what I'm saying? It's that double standard.
And that's a huge thing now,
it's a huge double standard.
Well, it's like, it's also too, like, drag queens have, I mean, even if you're just keeping it in the, you know, drag race realm, drag queens have 17 seasons of Drag Race to reference, to be like, oh my God, you know, back in the day when they used to do the makeup tutorials after every episode so you could see how each queen did their makeup. That's so many resources for drag queens at the tip of their fingers. So you can just like, oh, let me just learn how to do this. Drag kings don't have that. So we're judged so harshly. And we don't have the same resources that queens do. And like, they're there, but you just have to like dig and really find, or just have a good community of people who, cause like, I kind of learned a lot from drag queens. Because when I started doing drag in Chicago was when like Kim Chi went on Drag Race and Shea Coulee and like a lot of people, like I'm friends with Denali who I knew before Drag Race too. So I kind of just like, when I first started doing makeup, I was just like, okay, from here up, I'm doing like a drag queen makeup tutorial. And then from here down, I'm just putting my beard on. So you kind of have to like learn what you want to do and what you want to put forward. And it just sucks that like there's such a harsh criticism of us. Like, you're wearing regular clothes, or you're doing this, or you're doing that. And it's like, give them a chance. For me, I always judge on like stage energy, star quality, presence, you know, and some people are just really likable. And if you're wearing something I don't like, that can change. But your personality is kind of hard to change. You know?
I agree. It's so true. I feel like I have to come in there on any show, even when I'm watching King of Drag or something else. I do think, what's the starting point of each person? Because as much as we say there's rules, everything's graded on a curve.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you watch Drag Race? Yeah.
Well, and I've also been watching Drag Race since season 1.
Yeah.
So you see, like, for me, the beauty of that is in the earlier seasons, you see drag queens who were doing drag before Drag Race, the show, existed.
Right.
So there's like a different level of experience that you don't see in the newer seasons now because everything is like of a reference of a reference of a reference. And it's like the original reference is lost.
I agree.
You don't get it. Like, even like I love the earlier seasons of Drag Race. Even like your season, like I always quote like pick me. Like
that was desperation.
That's literally how it is in the drag scene now. When you're trying to find a gig, everyone's taking the lowest paying gig.
Yeah.
It's like pick me.
Let's take a break. Would you star in a novela?
Oh my God, I'm so glad you asked me. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just went on novela binge. There's this app called VIX, VIX, and they have all the novelas from the 80s and 90s on there.
Oh, wow.
And there's one novela called Cuna de Lobos.
Uh-huh.
And the villain is like the first ever, like, you know, the doñas who are like the older women who are like, you know, I feel like you're a doña.
I love that.
Not in the older sense, but just like the no nonsense woman who's like beautiful and like no one f***s with them.
I love that.
Her name is Catalina Krill, and she has an eye patch.
Oh, she's full on.
And she wears
She's got
like
secrets.
Her hair is like the Mrs. Garrett hair, like, you know, like the big, like with the little bun in the middle. And the first episode, she's killing her husband with poison.
Oh, she's coming out the gate with the poison.
And then she goes and kills other people, and she puts disguises on. So she puts on a blonde wig with dark sunglasses. And then you find out the whole time that she has both of her eyes, and she's just pretending that she's missing one so that her stepson gets blamed for it. It's crazy. I just watched 80 episodes and I would love to be in a novela.
I need to see this. Didn't somebody do something kind of along that storyline on Drag Race not long ago?
When I was watching, I was like, Drag Race had to base it on this.
Maybe,
because
yeah.
even the way that they like slowly show the poison getting poured into, it's always like a little glass jar and it's like getting poured into the glasses.
Oh, I have to watch it.
I'm going to send you the link because it's so good.
Well, what would your character be on the novela?
I would be the guy who womanizes all the women, but is also the mommy's boy. Okay. So I would be like the villain son, the little bitch that's like following his mom.
Okay.
Just because like he gets the best outfits, he gets to slap people around.
Uh-huh.
And he also has the best facial hair.
Facial hair is very important.
It's very important to me. As a drag king, I hate when I have to do a character with no facial hair.
Oh, it does change things quite a bit. I mean, it's like, I guess, two sides of the coin. It's like telling a drag queen, like,
don't put lashes on or something.
Yeah, don't put that on, or don't put contour or something.
Yeah. A beard is a contour for me.
It is.
I mean, when I first started doing drag, I was a little bit skinnier, so like I would only do like a goatee. But now when my face is getting fuller, I'm like, my beard is getting higher and higher.
Well, shit, I need a ZZ Top beard then. I need
the
a
ronder
beard down to here.
Come on, Flavio.
Fix everything for Flavio. We are back with Tenderoni. Now, this is the part of the show, obviously called Read Me Delta. People send in their letters. They have questions. They need advice. And if you would like to send in a letter, send it to readmedelta@gmail.com. Oh, you have the letter opener. This is the weapon. This is the novella weapon. This is Mother of Pearl.
Ooh, she's rich.
This is how people influence, right? Dear Delta and heavenly guest, I have a neighbor who every winter feels the urge to boisterously demonstrate to the whole world that they are the only one to have a wood-burning fireplace. In my house, we keep the sash windows a little bit open during the day for ventilation and sometimes right up until we go to bed. This motherfucker can put his fireplace on at any time, and as soon as we smell the putrid, violent smoke odor that creeps through the windows, we run to shut them. Otherwise, our whole house will stink. Is this a bit inconsiderate, as barely anyone where I live in Melbourne has a wood-burning fireplace, that the neighbors are forced to shut their house up and be deprived of ventilation just because he's blowing smoke? Lots of love, very Luca. So I guess they're saying it goes everywhere in the neighborhood and it just stinks. I personally love the smell of a fireplace.
I wouldn't mind it. I like that smell too.
Yes. Like if my neighbors are barbecuing, I'm so happy. Even though I'm not invited to the barbecue, I like the smell. Right?
Yes.
I'm not going to complain about that.
Definitely
Maybe because
not.
you don't personally like it. Like I get it, but I feel like the air belongs to everyone.
Yeah, I like the smell. So I don't know. That's a very specific.
You know, I don't smoke out,
situation.
but I hold the space for anybody that does. I feel like it's natural. It makes people feel good. It relaxes them. It's just does so much for so many different people in so many ways. But I do smell this dirt weed some people have. And I'm like, I don't know what you are smoking, but I haven't smoked weed since college and it smelled different in the day for me.
Yeah, like the skunky kind.
Yes. I'm like, that is cheap weed. Like maybe you need to smoke less, but smoke better. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is. So when I smell it though, I'm like, well, there's people
that I would complain
smoke.
about because I have neighbors in my apartment that smoke like skunky weed. And technically, my apartment is supposed to be smoke free.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not a Karen.
Yeah, I'm not a snitch. I'm not
going to be a snitch, but also can that stinks. Get something that smells better.
Because I bitch about everything. I bitch about the food and the this and the ranch dressing and the Subway and all of that. But I'm not going to go like call the manager and snitch on the person that up the food. I'm just going to come up here and complain and then throw it in the air and then go back and do the same thing all over again. But I'm not trying to get anybody fired or anybody in trouble, or I know everybody's having a bad day.
Yeah.
But the air belongs to everybody. So if somebody's smoking a cigarette, I've seen people go complain to somebody on a smoking patio that they're smoking. Well, bitch, you're on the smoking patio. How about you just move down a little bit? Well, I don't like smoke around me. Well, guess what? Live in a cave. What do you want us to do? People are going to smoke mota. People are going to smoke cigarettes. People are going to burn fireplaces. I don't know what to tell you other than to shut your windows, but I don't know why you don't like the fireplace, babe.
Yeah, so like cozy. But I also really like weird smells. Like I like the smell of gasoline.
See, I never got into that, but I like rubbing alcohol.
Oh,
do you like rubbing alcohol? I have my rubbing alcohol wipes. Do you use alcohol wipes?
I mean, if I wear a wig, I use it to clean.
Do you like
my
rubbing alcohol
temples.
smell or no?
No,
you don't.
It's too wait. Let me test it. Oh, that just reminds me that I'm about to get a shot at the doctor.
Really? I almost wonder.
It is. You know what? There's kind of it's growing on me. But
it's like a poppers feel.
Yeah, it is like a poppers.
Do drag kings do poppers?
I do. I love poppers.
You do? Are you you're sapphic?
Yeah, I hate that word, but yes.
You hate it? You're not a sister of Sappho?
I guess, but I just feel like it's so corny.
It is corny. It's corny. You don't sign everything with a purple heart. Like, I'm lesbian, so I'm purple.
I'm also like a very bad lesbian. I don't like man-hating lesbians. Like, if I see a good-looking man, I'm like, oh my God, he's so hot. Or like, oh my God, he's cute.
Well, you dated men at one point.
Yeah. I mean, I can appreciate a good-looking man. I just date women now.
Right.
I just don't understand people who are like, they hate a specific thing.
Right.
I can understand not having a preference. But you know how some lesbians are like man-hating lesbians? Like, that is not me.
Well, Nelly Furtado is a man-eater. And so I identify with Nelly Furtado.
Get it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I do. I identify with her. Okay. Here's the thing. I hold the space for you to be upset about the fireplace. I'm not upset, but I'm not mad at you for being upset. I feel like if you don't like it, you don't like it. You know what I mean? You don't have to like it. You don't have to like the smell of rubbing alcohol.
Or
but you were fine with me smelling it.
Exactly.
You know, you were like, whatever, this freak bitch over here wants to smell rubbing alcohol. You're the one putting your face inside gas tanks.
Nail polish remover.
Now that I'm into. I can do it.
Now we're huffing.
Now we're
corner.
I wonder if we could get high off that.
That's your drag name, Hugh Huffner.
Oh, I wish I had my phone. I could pull up these names that I had. Dear Delta and extemporaneous guest, I recently finished an episode of yours that featured the wonderful and amazing Carrie Colby. At the beginning, in your Go Off Delta segment, it was focused on male cleanliness, men's sandals, and feet as a whole. The subject got me thinking about a product that I have come across multiple times as the weather gets warmer. You see, I've worked in retail for nearly 6 years, and every year there are men's sandals that come in with bottle openers incorporated into the bottom of the shoe. I feel as if it's completely unsanitary to use the bottom of your shoe to open your drink, and I cannot help but wonder if I'm the only one who thinks this. Who's buying these hideous pieces of footwear, and are they actually using them as bottle openers? Do people really think that there's not dirt, piss, and shit on the bottom of their shoe, or do they simply not care what goes into their mouths? Please let me know you and your guest thoughts on this subject. I love you forevermore. Tanner. Have you ever had a shoe with a bottle opener in the bottom?
No, but I've seen them before.
I haven't seen them, but I'm imagining that's like Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville
Yeah,
shoes.
it's very like
Panama Jack.
Yeah, Midwestern dad.
Is it a thing, you think?
Oh, I definitely have seen it before. I mean, before I did drag, I worked in a shoe retail for
Oh,
10
you did?
years. Yeah, I worked for Fry leather boots.
Okay.
I also worked for Puma, Camper, like a bunch of shoes. I was a stock manager, stock associate. So I was moving the shoes around to make sure they're available for people to buy.
I like that.
But when I first started, I was a sales associate, so I would have to interact with people's feet. And no, I don't. I don't like any.
Like, did you take the boxes out and help them try them on, or were you just like, here?
No, I would have to. I mean, it depends on because I worked at like Puma is just like sneakers, and you're just like, here, try this on. And then once you get more like higher end shoes, you have to give them more customer service.
Right.
So you're like, here, I brought you this shoe and a half size up. I also brought this style that's similar, just in case if you want to try. It's called the 3-box rule. In retail.
3-box rule. Here's your shoe you requested.
A half size up or down, depending if it runs small or big. And then a similar style.
Oh, I want to live my life by this rule everywhere I go. I'm living for this. Say it again.
3-box rule.
3-box rule. I want that. I want that at Del Taco. I want that everywhere I go to eat. I want the 3-box rule. Here's the fries you ordered, but here's the fries with less salt because they're fresher. And then here's some cheese curds. 3-box rule.
Exactly.
I want options.
See, we're influenced so easily.
My God. I've never heard this. Where have you been all my life that all these things you're telling me are so wise?
I've just been bopping around.
It's the Tenderoni experience.
Yeah. Well, when I watched this show, I was like, I feel like me and Delta would get along. Like everything that you talk about is so much. I was like, I agree with her on everything. Especially, I really love your episode with Layla because me and Layla are really close friends too.
Layla.
And we like love a lot of the same things, and a lot of the same things grind our gears too. So, when you find someone who has like the same sense of humor, and you're like, I can send them really up things.
Yes. It's
a safe space. I can really talk with this person and not worry about it getting out. That's Layla for me.
She's funny because she has a very poker face about things. Like I've only worked with Layla a couple of times, and most recently we did like a brunch show at a casino, and we had a really good time, really great turnout. But when just funny instances happen, it's like one of these things where like the face just turned to me, and it didn't even need I just knew like. I think we just observed the same thing, and I don't think we need to say anything.
Yeah.
I just think
the silent acknowledgement.
Yes. The shoe.
That is nasty. Especially,
it is kind
imagine walking around downtown LA and then opening your
It is kind of gross. However, my producer Doug asked me earlier this morning, if you're at a party, and I'm not at this kind of party anymore, but if I was, and somebody's passing around the bottle, are you like just like pouring some from the air, or are you drinking out of it? And I'm throwing lips. I'm drinking out of it. I don't care. Like I'm not afraid.
It depends on who's at the party.
Listen, I buy my tamales out of people's trunks. You know what I'm saying? I eat hot dogs off of the roller at 7-Eleven. I'm not afraid of who you are.
You know what? You're right.
I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm not afraid of it. Like, look where I am. Look at Flavio when Flavio's talking to you. I'm not afraid. We can fly. Thank you for being here.
Thank you
I'm
for
so
having
excited.
me.
Is there anything you want to like directly read to the camera or anything?
Make sure to watch King of Drag streaming on Revry TV for 6 episodes. Sponsored by Elf Cosmetics, the first ever drag king competition series.
I love it. Today on Very Delta, we learned that the 3-box rule can apply to everything in your life. We'll see you next week, and until then, keep things very Delta. Very Delta is produced by Moguls of Media, aka Mom. Hosted by Delta Work. Produced and edited by Doug Robertson. Technical direction by Danielle Mitchell. With original theme music by Will Pitts. Media and design support by Stone Cole. And set design by Eris Sevilla. Executive produced by Alaska, Willem, Big Dipper, Camille Stennis, and Joe Cilio. Recorded at Forever Dog Productions.
Mom!
Watch Very Delta uncensored, ad-free, and a day early by subscribing to Mom Plus Gold. Sign up today at mompodcast.plus for premium content, including weekly episodes of more Very Delta.